Hi everyone. Do you hate the taste of store-bought kombucha? If you do, I think you will like the taste of homemade kombucha. To me, it is totally different. So today I'm gonna walk you through how I make my kombucha. Let's do it. So first of all, if kombucha intimidates you, I think this very repeatable process is going to take the scariness out of it. I am not claiming ownership of this process. Actually, friends of ours who tried kombucha every which way you could came up with this repeatable process that they liked the most. And rather than reinvent the wheel and try absolutely every option that they did, I started doing this and I've done it for about a year now. So there is a big book of kombucha and it has troubleshooting in there, it has recipes in there, it has how you can use your SCOBY in different ways. So it is quite robust and I would recommend this. I've had to refer to it many times and it is a great resource. So I'm gonna put that aside. So dear friends of ours started us on this. We actually tasted theirs, loved it. We're interested in making it ourselves. And so they taught us their very repeatable process. I don't do a ton of variations to it, but a little bit. So what I've done right now, and the very first step that we're gonna take is to take care of this steeping tea. And the tea that I am using for personal taste is from a local Texas grocery store called H-E-B. And it is organic tropical green decaffeinated tea. You don't have to use this one. I know my friends use other green teas, but I like this tropical taste the best. I put in 10 tea bags to steep for 10 minutes. So now I'm going to take those out, and once I get those out of there, I'm going to add a cup of sugar. I'm going to just use a slotted spoon, and you can put your tea bags in your compost, but I'm actually not even gonna worry about that today. And what I would suggest is that you count how many tea bags you pull out, because sometimes it's hard to see that there might be an extra one in there. So I'm gonna take these out of here and I'll be right back. The tea bags are out. Now I have put in 3/4 cup of sugar and I'm gonna add in the last 1/4 of a cup. And you know, I'm gonna just make sure that I didn't grab the 3rd cup measurement and put in too much. So this is my last one that will make this 1 cup. Now this is an extra large, very large tea kettle. It is not filled up all the way. It is filled to about half. So we want this to dissolve that sugar, which it does because it's hot. And because right now we have a lot of gnats and flies in Texas, I am just going to cover this, but I'm not going to snap it down all the way because I do want it to cool and I want that steam to escape. That's it for step 1. I need to wait now until this comes to room temperature. I do not want it hot when it goes into my active kombucha and gets intermingled with my new SCOBY. I say new, with my existing SCOBY. I will tell you the other things that you need that I'm going to prepare is you need these containers to decant your existing kombucha. So what I have right now is almost a gallon of kombucha that's been brewing for about 14 days. I will decant it and put it into other containers that have an airtight seal. And I am going to add to those ginger, and I'll be adding some juice. We will use this tea to replenish and have that SCOBY and a little bit of the older tea start making and brewing our new kombucha that should be ready in another 12 to 14 days. So it's a repeatable process. That's easy. Brew the tea, add the sugar, let it cool. 3 steps. I set the tea kettle aside for right now, letting that cool. But we can go ahead and decant this and take care of making our kombucha that's ready for the 3-day process. So in this covered gallon jar is our kombucha, and on top is what we call the Scobee. And there's some that's kind of hanging down too. It's a thin piece, but it will keep making new layers of Scobee. And once it gets thicker, you can divide it and you can do things like put it in your compost pile. I've read in the book that some people use it to make face lotion. I have not done that yet. But the other thing is, as we put it into these containers, I will add juice. So my local grocery store has these type of juices. One's a pear, one's a mango. They have an apple one as well. These tend to be our favorites, and they're called nectar from concentrate. That sugar is needed to continue to feed the kombucha. The other thing is, with the ginger, I will put that into these jars. If you haven't cut up ginger or peeled ginger, the spoon is really, and I'll try to come in close for you, is the best way to, oops, I cut in too much. Oh, it smells so good. Now I'm gonna cut off this cut end here, just because it's dried. And what I'm gonna do, you can use a cutting board, but honestly, I just cut it into small pieces. I'm gonna cut a little bit more skin off. So I'm just gonna cut it like into little sections. And as I cut it, I'm putting it into these jars. And ginger is supposed to be really good for digestion, for your stomach, for upset stomach. And so I'll just show you. Ooh, I don't want to lose it off my, see how I scored it? And one thing is, you don't want to wash your hands or your bowls in soap that is antibacterial, because with kombucha, you want the bacteria. You want the good bacteria. I'm just going to take some more of the skin off because I want some more ginger. I love ginger. So again, I'm just kind of cutting it in the shape of like a tic-tac-toe board. That's the way I would describe it. And I'm cutting them that size too, because I also want to, when after the bottle is empty, I want to be able to get these out of here. And I don't want to make them so big that they don't come out easily. And that's kind of the plan. Okay, that's our ginger. Love it. And you can put in more if you like more. It is a personal preference thing. I just have a very open type of weave towel on this where you can see a little bit of daylight through it. Oh, I could smell it. Oh yeah. I'm leaving it on again because we have gnats. My hand soap is a no parabens soap. It's a very clean soap, and again, no antibacterial. This is gonna feel squishy, and that's okay. I'll try to bring you in. Okay. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna put it in this glass, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of this in here. So that is about probably 2 cups worth because the Scobee's in there. I'm gonna add a little bit more. It's about 2 cups worth of liquid is what I'm seeing on here. And so we're gonna hang on to that because this tea kettle tea is gonna be mixed with this in the new gallon jar. So let me get another towel and we're just gonna cover this temporarily so no little bugs can get in there. I'm not sticking my hand in it anymore. This is where it's a little tricky. I normally do this over the sink. Okay, I'm gonna try and see if I can do it. Y'all know this is like recipe for disaster, right? Okay, I'm good. I'm just pouring slowly, and because this bottle is so dark, it's kind of hard to see where it is. And I have filled it too much because it was still going down. Okay, that's okay. So right now it's filled to right here, and I don't want it that high. I need to leave room for juice. And do a little bit more. Again, it needs that sugar. I really overfilled it. And now my ginger is over here. Now we're going to, oh goodness. And I can see this one a little better. Oops, and I may have overfilled it again because I was looking down below instead of looking up top. And I will probably have to pour some of this off. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just putting ginger back in. Now, I'm gonna do the pear. So I'm adding my pear juice in. I just kind of eyeball it. If you want to be exact, you can measure it. I'm good with this. Now, because this has been a fairly new batch for me, I have quite a bit of tea left. I'm gonna add some more into it to top it off. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna, same towel I used to wipe off my clean hands, I'm just going to use. And there you have it. Now, I think it's kind of hard for you to see, but it's up to here. And now I will let these build up carbonation, and I put on my calendar. I have a calendar on my refrigerator, and I just put 1, 2, 3 for the 3 days, and I just go and burp it. Or you can also add a reminder on your phone, which I will do also, because I keep these in our laundry room. Now, you're gonna see some stuff at the bottom. Let me swirl it around. That's why I use a strainer. I don't mind it being in here, it's actually good, but I don't want to drink that, and I don't want things that don't feel like clear liquid to be what's going down my gullet. You can keep this, add it back to here, which I'm going to do a little bit, not a lot. I only added like a half a cup more back in here. And this part, I may strain and drink it. But after I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and wash this out and get it ready for whenever my other tea has cooled down. You do not have to use these fancy containers. I have repurposed containers. I have half gallons. I have different variety. This one has a cork. Some of them have screw tops, but this is my kombucha. I feel like I don't say it right. This is my kombucha that has been in the refrigerator and is ready to drink. And if it's not something you're used to drinking, then I would say start slow, because it is trying to help you with your gut health. And if you drink too much of it, it could have you spend some time a little bit more in the bathroom, maybe too much. So just pace yourself. I can't remember if I did apple or pear for this one. It's good. It's really good. So I have had people that say, oh, I don't like kombucha, but then when they tried the homemade, love it. So if you've been holding off on trying it, I suggest you do. Now, one thing I will say is that we are on well water out here, and we can use filtered water, but if you are in the big city that has chlorine and fluoride added to their water, you probably need to not use that one. I do use like distilled water. It has worked like this for me for a year. But you do your own research, read that Big Book of Kombucha, but you don't have to read the whole thing, because if you're not going to do it all from like fresh fruit and stuff, you don't have to. Now, there are some people that sell, I think they're Scobees, and you can buy them. Or you might get on Facebook Marketplace and see if you have any friends that would have a Scobee that they would share with you. That would be ideal. That's how I got mine. There is instruction in the kombucha book on how to do it yourself from raw kombucha that you can get in the store. I have not done that. That's not the purpose of this video. This video is to share the very repeatable process that you can do over and over again, like on a 12 to 14 day cycle. It's that simple. And if I wasn't talking to you and I was just doing this, it would be just part of my day. Go steep the tea, put the sugar in, let it cool down, and then decant after it's cool, put it back in the gallon jar. It literally takes 10 minutes, maybe. That's it. So very repeatable process. And as my dad said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I know somebody else originally said that. He didn't come up with it, right? Anyway, we'll come back after that tea is cooled down and we will make our new batch that will be ready to brew. I just washed my hands because I'm going to be reaching back in here for our Scobee. We're at the end steps. So this is the new tea that we brewed that was in the tea kettle. I poured it into here. It is now room temperature and past my bedtime. And we are going to take the original kombucha tea with the Scobee and put it in here. But because I'm not quite half full, I'm going to add a little bit of distilled water and only about an inch. I'm not diluting it too much, just about an inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the SCOBY. I don't want to lose any of that goodness. It's dripping right now. And we are going to lay it in here. And then I'm going to take the original kombucha and gently pour it on top. And you notice I'm not pouring fast. I think that's almost perfect. Awesome. So the other thing is the neck of the jar starts right about here. And I may be a little less than an inch from that. If you were to fill it up all the way, it won't allow the SCOBY to maintain its shape of the full circumference of this. It would bottleneck it. That's why it's called a bottleneck. Oh, this is why my husband calls me a dork. It's okay. So I'm going to take this same towel because I like the weave on it, and my rubber band. You can also use string. And then for me, I put mine in the laundry room in the very corner away from the dryer. And you want it in a dark, cooler place. So I could put it into my pantry, but I just have always had it on the counter in my laundry room. And that's where it's done really well. That's where I have the other 2 bottles that we decanted that will be ready to drink in 3 days. And that's it, my friends. This was super fast. It literally was putting your tea and sugar mixture from the kettle into this, making sure it was room temperature, putting your SCOBY back in here and pouring that tea back in here. Now this does its magic for 12 to 14 days. And really that date range is based on your personal preference of taste. I don't get too hung up on it. Sometimes it's a convenience of scheduling. So sometimes I'll do it in 10 days, sometimes I'll do it in 14. All right, everyone, it is the next day, and this is where I have our kombucha in the laundry room. And I apologize, but I have laundry going because I am multitasking. My husband is learning how to make wine, so that is his right there. And then these are the bottles of kombucha that we decanted from the gallon jar into here and added juice and ginger. So I am just going to, if I can one-handed, I don't know if you heard, it just went poop. I can't make that sound. But I'm burping them basically. And I'm gonna do that every day for 3 days. That one didn't do it as much, but, and that is it, my friends. 2 more days we'll do that and then we drink it. I hope you give it a try. Cheers to good health. As my dad always closed his voicemail messages, bye for now. Do you hate kombucha? Do you hate the taste of kombucha? Well, let me change that. Do you hate this taste? Do you hate the... There is a book called the Big Book of Kombucha, if I can talk. So I put in tea, we'll add juice, and my local grocery store has, let me show you.